Listen to me. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but it can also be your greatest prison. The difference lies in how you train it. Mental strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's forged through struggle, through decisions, through moments when quitting looks easier, but you choose to fight anyway. You want to know how to become mentally strong. You've got to stop waiting for life to get easier. It never will. You must get stronger. Stronger than the excuses, stronger than the pain, stronger than the opinions of others. Because life will test you, not to destroy you, but to reveal who you really are underneath the noise. Mental strength begins when you decide you're done being controlled by emotions that don't serve you. Fear, doubt, insecurity. They're not enemies. They're signals. They're your mind's way of saying, wake up, grow, rise. Stop running from them. Face them. Because when you face your fear, it loses its power. You've got to train your mind the same way you train your body. Repetition, discipline, consistency. Every single day, you decide what thoughts get to live in your head. Are they thoughts that empower you or thoughts that poison you? Because whatever you focus on, you feel. Whatever you feel, you act on. And whatever you act on, you become. So stop feeding your weakness. Stop telling yourself stories that limit your potential. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. It's too hard. Those are lies. Lies that keep you stuck in a cycle of hesitation and regret. Replace them with truth. I am capable. I am resilient. I will find a way. Because strength is not about never falling. It's about never staying down. Here's the truth. Mental strength is not built in comfort. It's built in chaos. It's built when you're tired, when you're afraid, when you're uncertain, but you still move forward anyway. Every challenge, every setback, every painful experience, they're all part of your training. You either use them to grow or you let them define you. Stop wishing for easy. Easy doesn't make you stronger. Easy makes you soft. You grow when you're tested. You evolve when you're stretched. You become unstoppable when you realize that every obstacle in your path was placed there to make you rise to your potential. You've got to take control of your internal world. When everything around you feels chaotic, you stay centered. When people doubt you, you stay focused. When life breaks your plans, you build new ones. Mental strength is about emotional mastery, the ability to stay calm in storms, confident in uncertainty, and hungry in the face of defeat. Ask yourself, what are you focusing on every day? Because focus equals power. If you focus on what's missing, you'll feel empty. If you focus on what's wrong, you'll feel stuck. But if you focus on what you can control, you become powerful. Gratitude, discipline, progress, these are the foundations of a strong mind. Every time you feel like giving up, remember pain is temporary, but quitting is forever. You're not here to live a life of comfort. You're here to live a life of growth, meaning, and purpose. And that means stepping into your power even when it hurts. Mental strength is a decision, a moment-by-moment choice to show up as your highest self no matter what's happening around you. It's refusing to be the victim of your circumstances and choosing instead to be the creator of your destiny. You become mentally strong when you stop waiting for motivation and start acting with discipline. You become mentally strong when you stop blaming others and start taking ownership. You become mentally strong when you realize the only person who can save you is you. So stand tall. Stop shrinking yourself to fit small situations. You've survived storms that others would have drowned in. You've walked through fire and still come out standing. That strength is already inside you. It's been there all along. You don't need life to be easier. You just need to remember who you are. Powerful, resilient, unbreakable. Because mental strength isn't built in the moments you win. It's built in the moments you refuse to quit. Listen to me. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but it can also be your greatest prison. The difference lies in how you train it, how you condition it, how you choose to use it every single day. Most people think strength comes from muscle, from dominance, from external force, but true power comes from mastering your own mind. Because when you master your mind, you master your life. Every achievement, every victory, every dream that ever became reality began in the mind of someone who refused to surrender to fear, doubt, or failure. Your mental state determines everything you experience. Two people can face the same storm. One falls apart, the other finds strength. The storm didn't decide the outcome. Their mindset did. Mental strength isn't inherited. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build through the choices you make, the thoughts you feed, and the emotions you learn to command instead of obey. You have to understand something deep. Your mind is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you safe. That means it will always look for what's wrong, what's risky, what could go wrong next. It's constantly scanning for danger because that's how it's wired to protect you. But the problem is, in modern life, that instinct keeps you small. It keeps you anxious. It keeps you from taking the risks that would change your life. That's why mental strength begins the moment you realize that not every thought you think deserves your belief. Just because a thought appears in your head doesn't make it true. You have to become the master of your mental dialogue, the director of the movie playing inside your mind. You can't allow random fear-based thinking to dominate your life because your thoughts shape your reality. When you tell yourself, I can't, your brain shuts down possibilities. But when you say, I'll find a way, your brain starts searching for solutions. Becoming mentally strong starts with awareness, the awareness of what's really going on inside your head. Most people live on autopilot, thinking 60,000 thoughts a day, most of them the same as yesterday. And if you think the same thoughts, you'll feel the same emotions, take the same actions, and get the same results. To break the cycle, you have to interrupt it. You have to become conscious of the words you use, the meanings you attach, and the stories you tell yourself about your life. Are those stories empowering you or trapping you? Because if you tell yourself a story of weakness, you'll find evidence to confirm it. If you tell yourself a story of strength, your brain will find evidence to prove that too. Mental toughness comes from choosing stories that serve your growth, not your limitations. And let's get real, life will hit you. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. You'll lose people, you'll fail at things, you'll be disappointed, you'll be rejected. Everyone goes through that. But the difference between those who crumble and those who rise isn't circumstance, it's inner strength. It's the power to keep going when your emotions scream to stop. It's the ability to hold your vision when your environment gives you every reason to give up. It's choosing not to be controlled by temporary feelings. Mental strength is built in those silent moments when no one is watching, when everything in you wants to quit, and you choose to take one more step. That's when character is built. That's when resilience is born. You must train your mind daily, not once in a while, and not when things go wrong, but every single day. You feed your body with food, you must feed your mind with power. Read things that challenge you. Listen to words that uplift you. Surround yourself with people who hold you to higher standards. The mind is like a muscle. What you feed it, it becomes. If you feed it negativity, fear, comparison, it becomes weak, reactive, defensive. But if you feed it vision, gratitude, focus, and self-belief, it becomes unshakable. Mental strength isn't built in comfort, it's built in resistance. When you push past the limits of your old thinking, you start to expand what's possible for you. Too many people believe they need motivation to act, but the truth is you need action to create motivation. Waiting to feel ready is the trap that keeps millions stuck. Mental strength means you move whether you feel like it or not. You follow through on your commitments, not your emotions. Discipline is the foundation of mental strength because every time you do what you said you would do, even when it's hard, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence, and that confidence becomes certainty. People think strong minds are born fearless. No. Strong minds feel fear but act anyway. They've trained themselves to move through discomfort because they know what's on the other side of fear is freedom. Another truth about becoming mentally strong is that you must learn to let go of control over what you can't change. Mental weakness comes from resistance, from wishing things were different, from fighting what already is. Mental strength is about acceptance, not in a passive way, but in an empowered way. It means saying, this is where I am right now, but this is not where I'll stay. It's using every experience, even the painful ones, as fuel for your growth, because pain can either be your prison or your power. When you use it to build perspective, patience, and persistence, it becomes your greatest ally. But when you resist it, it becomes your enemy. Strength grows from the willingness to face pain, to learn from it, and to keep going. If you want to become mentally strong, you must also learn to manage your focus. Focus is your greatest currency. Wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. If you focus on what you can't control, you drain yourself. If you focus on what you can create, you empower yourself. Strong minds are laser, focused on solutions, not problems. They see setbacks as feedback, not failure. They ask better questions. Not, oh, why has this happened to me? But what is this teaching me? Not, what did I lose? But what can I gain from this experience? Every question you ask yourself directs the quality of your thoughts and emotions, and ultimately the quality of your life. And let's talk about emotions. Mental strength doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you regulate them. It means you don't allow temporary feelings to make permanent decisions. You acknowledge your emotions, you feel them fully, but you don't let them drive the car. Because emotions are data, not direction. A strong mind uses emotion as a guide, not a master. You can feel fear and still move. You can feel doubt and still try. You can feel exhausted and still show up. That's strength, not in avoiding emotion, but in transcending it. Building a strong mind also requires protecting your environment. You can't stay mentally strong if you're surrounded by people who drain you, distract you, or discourage your growth. You've got to create boundaries. You've got to decide whose energy gets access to yours, because energy is contagious. And if you want to think big, act bold, and live free, you can't be around small-minded people who settle for mediocrity. Mental strength is not just about inner power, it's about guarding that power from the wrong influences. Finally, mental strength comes from purpose. When you have a compelling reason, why? That's bigger than your excuses. You can endure anything. People who are mentally strong don't wake up and hope for motivation. They wake up driven by purpose. They have a vision that pulls them forward. When your purpose is clear, your path becomes powerful. When your mission means more to you than your comfort, nothing can stop you. The mind obeys what the heart believes, and when you align both, you become unstoppable. You want to know how to become mentally strong. You've got to stop waiting for life to get easier. It never will. You must get stronger. Stronger than your excuses, stronger than your fears, stronger than your doubts, stronger than every voice inside you that whispers you can't. Because the truth is, life doesn't bend for your comfort. It doesn't slow down because you're tired. It doesn't care about your plans or your moods. Life keeps moving, and if you want to keep up, you have to rise. Every challenge you face is an invitation to grow. Every setback a test of who you're becoming. The world doesn't reward those who avoid pain. It rewards those who can transform it. You can't pray for strength and then hope for an easy path. Strength is built through struggle. And if you're waiting for things to get easier before you act, you'll wait forever. There's a pattern in life. When you overcome one challenge, another appears. It's not punishment, it's preparation. And the challenges don't stop because you succeed, they evolve as you do. The person you are right now was shaped by the challenges you've already survived. You didn't come this far to let small things break you. You've been through storms that others wouldn't have survived, and you're still standing. That means you're capable of far more than you give yourself credit for. But if you keep focusing on how unfair life is, how difficult things are, how other people have it easier, you drain your own power. Mentally strong people don't waste energy complaining about circumstances. They adapt, they strategize, they push forward. They don't ask for a lighter load, they ask for broader shoulders. Mental strength isn't about pretending that everything is fine, and it's about knowing things are hard and choosing to move forward anyway. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it, speaking your truth when it's uncomfortable, doing what's right instead of what's easy. Weak minds run from discomfort. Strong minds use it as fuel. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you level up. You're not just surviving life, you're sculpting yourself into the kind of person who can handle anything. The reason most people stay stuck is because they're addicted to comfort. They don't want to be uncomfortable, so they play small, stay safe, and hide behind excuses. But comfort never made anyone great. Every hero you admire, every person you look up to became that way because they refused to settle for easy. You must understand that your excuses are lying to you. They sound convincing, they sound logical, they even sound kind sometimes, but they are chains disguised as protection. I'll start when I have more time. I'm not ready yet. It's not the right moment. These are the lies that kill dreams in silence. There will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a time when you feel completely ready. Strength is built by acting before you feel prepared. You can't wait to feel strong to start. You have to start to feel strong. Every time you break through that hesitation, you rewire your brain. You teach yourself that you are capable, that you are resilient, that you are the one in control. Stop letting fear dictate your pace. Fear will never leave you. It doesn't vanish when you become successful. It's always there, whispering doubt. But mentally strong people don't wait for fear to disappear. They move with it. They understand that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's mastery over it. They use fear as a compass, guiding them toward what truly matters. If something scares you, it usually means it's important. Mental strength means looking fear in the face and saying, I'm going anyway, because you'll never discover your power if you keep living inside your comfort zone. Growth only happens at the edge of fear, in that place where your heart races and your mind screams no, but your soul says yes. You also have to stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is the fastest way to weaken your mind. When you measure your worth against someone else's journey, you forget your own progress. And mentally strong people understand that everyone is fighting their own battles, facing their own timelines. They don't compete against others. They compete against who they were yesterday. They focus on progress, not perfection. They know that real strength is staying consistent when no one is watching, doing the work in silence, and letting results speak. The moment you stop chasing validation, you reclaim your energy. Because when you're mentally strong, you don't need approval, you move with purpose. Life will test you, not to destroy you, but to reveal who you really are underneath the noise. When you face adversity, it strips away all the false layers, the ego, the fear, the pretense, and exposes the real you. That's when you find your core. You'll realize that strength isn't about never breaking. It's about how you rebuild after you do. Every scar you carry is proof that you've lived, that you've fought, that you've risen. So stop hiding your pain as if it's weakness. Pain is proof of growth. It's your reminder that you're alive, that you're evolving. Every person you admire has walked through their own version of hell and come out stronger because of it. The only difference between those who rise and those who fall is how they choose to respond to pain. If you want to be mentally strong, you must take full responsibility for your life. No blaming, no excuses, no pointing fingers. The moment you blame others, you hand them your power. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. That's where your freedom is. Victims react, but leaders respond. Mentally strong people don't waste time wishing things were different. They focus on what they can do right now. They understand that life is not about what you're given. It's about what you make of it. The strongest people aren't those with perfect circumstances. They're those who learned how to turn pain into purpose and obstacles into opportunities. To build that kind of mental power, you have to be intentional about how you think. Every thought is either an investment or a withdrawal. Every time you feed your mind negativity, you weaken your focus. Every time you focus on what you can control, you strengthen your mindset. Mental toughness comes from discipline, not luck. It's the daily decision to choose strength over softness, progress over perfection, faith over fear. It's not a one-time choice, it's a lifestyle. And it starts with awareness. When you catch yourself drifting into negative thought patterns, stop and redirect your focus. Ask yourself, does this thought empower me or weaken me? If it weakens you, replace it, because thoughts repeated become beliefs, and beliefs shape your reality. And remember, your environment matters. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain, gossip, and settle, you will absorb that energy. You can't become mentally strong in a mentally weak environment. Protect your peace, protect your energy, protect your focus. Spend time with people who challenge you, who call you out when you play small, who remind you your potential when you forget it yourself. Growth requires friction. Mentally strong people aren't afraid of tough love. They welcome it because they know iron sharpens iron. To become mentally strong, you must also learn patience. Real strength isn't loud, it's quiet persistence. It's doing the work day after day without needing applause. It's trusting the process when the results haven't shown up yet. Weak minds quit because they don't see instant progress, but strong minds understand that mastery takes time. Every seed planted takes time to grow underground before it breaks through the surface. The work you're doing now may not show immediate results, but it's creating roots of resilience that will sustain you later. And through it all, remind yourself that struggle is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of life. If you're struggling, it means you're still in the fight. It means you still care, and it means you're still pushing for more. That's where transformation happens. In the struggle, in the chaos, in the moments you think you can't go on but do anyway. Because mental strength isn't built by escaping challenges, it's built by facing them with courage and refusing to back down even when it hurts. Mental strength begins when you decide you're done being controlled by emotions that don't serve you. Every human being feels fear, doubt, frustration, and pain, but what separates the weak from the strong is how they respond to those emotions. Most people let their emotions dictate their lives. They wake up in a bad mood and everything that day collapses. They feel afraid and immediately retreat. They face rejection and decide they're not enough. But if you want to build a powerful mind, you have to take back control. You must realize that emotions are signals, not commands. They're feedback, not final decisions. They exist to give you information, not direction. The moment you understand that your emotions are messengers, not masters, you begin to reclaim your inner power, because true freedom is not about living without emotion. It's about mastering it. Fear, doubt, insecurity, they're not enemies. They're teachers. They show you where you need to grow, what you need to face, and where you've been playing small. Fear tells you where your limits lie. Courage is what expands those limits. Every time you run from fear, it grows stronger. Every time you confront it, it loses its hold on you. Doubt is the voice that questions your worth, but it only has power if you listen. When you recognize it as a test instead of a truth, it becomes fuel. Insecurity whispers that you're not ready, but that's exactly why you need to act, because action breeds confidence. You don't think your way into strength, you act your way into it. Emotion will always be there, but your choice is whether to react or respond. You see, emotions aren't random, they are conditioned. If you've spent years reacting to stress with panic, you've trained your nervous system to do that automatically. If you've spent years responding to failure with self-pity, your brain is wired that is normal. But the same way you trained your mind into weakness, you can train it into strength. It's about interrupting patterns. When you feel fear, don't freeze. Breathe, observe, and act anyway. When you feel anger, don't explode. Step back, refocus, and choose your response. When you feel overwhelmed, don't shut down. Simplify, prioritize, and take one step forward. That's how mental strength is built. Repetition of conscious responses until power becomes your new default state. The truth is, your emotions are not the problem. Your attachment to them is. you identify with them too deeply. You say, I am angry, instead of I'm feeling anger. You say, I am anxious, instead of I'm experiencing anxiety. The difference might sound small, but it's everything. One is identity, the other is experience. One traps you, the other empowers you. You are not your emotions. You are the observer behind them. The moment you create that separation, you create control. You can't control the first thought that enters your mind, but you can control how long you let it stay there. That's power. That's awareness. And awareness is the beginning of mastery. And most people never learn emotional mastery because they think emotions are supposed to disappear when they succeed. They believe that confidence means never feeling doubt again, or peace means never feeling stress again. That's not how it works. The goal is not to eliminate emotion. It's to regulate it. A strong mind doesn't chase happiness. It creates stability. Stability means you can feel fear and still move, feel sadness and still function, feel pressure and still perform. That's strength. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent. The stronger your mind becomes, the calmer you stay in chaos, because you've learned that emotion doesn't equal truth. Just because something feels real doesn't mean it is. When life gets hard, your emotions will try to pull you in every direction. You'll want to quit, to lash out, to hide. But that's exactly when you need to pause. That pause is where power lies. The split second between stimulus and response is where your life changes. Weak minds react without thinking. Strong minds breathe, analyze, and respond with intention. That's how you shift from survival to mastery. The world will always test your emotional control through people's circumstances, failures. But those moments aren't here to destroy you. They're here to reveal you, to show you whether you're running on reaction or intention. One of the most powerful things you can learn is that pain is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Avoiding pain only multiplies it. Every time you numb your emotions, you delay your growth. You distract yourself with entertainment, food, scrolling, or excuses, but the truth is still waiting inside you. When you finally face it, it loses its power. Pain becomes the catalyst for evolution when you stop running from it. That's why mentally strong people don't suppress emotions. They face them, understand them, and use them as fuel. They know that beneath every painful emotion lies a lesson, a message, a new level of strength waiting to be unlocked. Mental toughness also means refusing to be controlled by temporary emotions when making permanent decisions. How many lives are destroyed because someone acted out of anger? How many dreams are abandoned because someone made a decision in fear? Your emotions are temporary, but their consequences are not. A strong person pauses before they act. They ask themselves, is this emotion helping me or hurting me? Is this choice aligned with who I want to become? That level of self-awareness separates those who react impulsively from those who rise intentionally. You can't control what you feel, but you can always control what you do next. And when it comes to emotions like fear and doubt, one truth remains constant. Action destroys them. You can't think your way out of fear. You have to move through it. When you act despite fear, you send your brain a new signal. I'm safe even when I move forward. Over time, your nervous system recalibrates. Fear may still appear, but it no longer paralyzes you. That's how confidence is built, through proof, not theory. You don't become confident by reciting affirmations. You become confident by doing hard things and surviving them. Every time you face a fear, every time you step into discomfort, every time you move forward despite resistance, you reprogram your mind for strength. You must also learn to change the meanings you attach to emotions. Fear doesn't mean stop, it means prepare. Stress doesn't mean collapse, it means grow. Failure doesn't mean the end, it means feedback. When you redefine the meaning, you redefine the experience. Emotions are neutral until you give them meaning. And mentally strong people choose empowering meanings that turn emotion into energy. They see frustration as a sign of potential, not defeat. They see uncertainty as possibility, not danger. The difference between a victim and a warrior is not the emotion they feel. It's the meaning they give it. The truth is, emotional mastery takes practice. You don't get it overnight. It's built through awareness, repetition, and patience. You have to catch yourself in the moment when anger flares, when fear spikes, when doubt whispers, and choose differently. It's in those moments that you train your mind. It's not in the big events. It's in the daily decisions. The small moments of self-control compound into unshakable strength. Every time you choose peace over panic, focus over frustration, courage over fear, you're building your foundation. And understand this, the emotions that once broke you will one day build you. The fear that used to stop you will become your fuel. The pain that once silenced you will become your message. The sadness that once drained you will become your depth. Everything you feel has a purpose if you use it. You don't have to fight your emotions. You just have to lead them. Because the mind is a tool. If you don't program it, the world will. Mental strength means becoming the programmer of your emotions, not the product of them. It means using your emotions as your servants, not your masters. And that's how you turn internal chaos into clarity and power. You've got to train your mind the same way you train your body. Repetition, discipline, consistency. Every single day, you decide what thoughts get to live in your head. Every single day, you're either building strength or surrendering it. The same way you wouldn't expect your body to grow stronger without effort, your mind won't grow powerful without intentional training. You can't go to the gym once and expect to be fit for life, and you can't think positively once and expect your life to change. Mental strength is built through daily conditioning, through showing up again and again, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one else sees the work you're doing. The gym for your mind isn't a physical place. It's every moment you choose growth over comfort, focus over distraction, and purpose over excuses. Most people treat their minds like an open field. Any thought can wander in, plant itself, and take root. Over time, those random thoughts grow into beliefs, and those beliefs shape reality. But mentally strong people are gardeners of their own minds. They don't allow weeds to grow unchecked. They pull out negativity the moment it appears. They plant seeds of power, courage, gratitude, and determination. And then, through daily repetition, they water those seeds until they become unshakable truths. Because thoughts repeated become beliefs, and beliefs lived become identity. If you want to become mentally strong, you have to become ruthless about what you allow to take root inside you. Every day, you have two choices: feed your strength or feed your weakness. When you focus on what's wrong, on what you lack, on how hard life is, you drain your energy and reinforce helplessness. But when you focus on what you can control, on what you're grateful for, on what you're capable of, you feed your power. Whatever you focus on expands. That's not just motivation, it's biology. Your brain literally filters the world based on what you decide is important. If you keep focusing on problems, your brain will find more of them. But if you train it to focus on possibilities, it will find solutions you never saw before. Mental training is about programming your focus so you become the master of your mind instead of its victim. Discipline is the foundation of mental strength. Without it, all the motivation in the world fades away. Discipline means doing what you said you'd do long after the feeling that made you say it has disappeared. It's the ability to follow through on your intentions when your emotions no longer support you. You can't build a strong mind if you quit every time things get uncomfortable. Mental training requires repetition. The same way muscles grow through resistance, your mindset grows through challenge. Every time you face difficulty and keep going, you add another layer of strength. You prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. That proof becomes confidence. And confidence turns into certainty. That's how you build a foundation that doesn't shake when life gets heavy. But here's the thing, just like physical strength fades when you stop training, mental strength fades when you stop practicing. You can't just think strong thoughts once and expect them to last forever. The world will test you daily. Stress, negativity, fear, and doubt will try to creep back in. That's why consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Even 5 minutes a day of focused mental conditioning is more powerful than a single burst of motivation, followed by weeks of apathy. The mind responds to repetition. What you do regularly becomes who you are. So if you want to become mentally strong, make strength your daily habit, not your occasional effort. Think of your thoughts like weights. Every time you lift a positive, empowering thought, you're strengthening your inner muscle. Every time you dwell on fear, failure, or self-pity, you're lifting weakness. You choose your reps. When life hits you, don't collapse under the weight. Push back. The more resistance you face, the stronger you get if you keep pushing. Your mind adapts the same way your body does. It grows stronger under pressure, but only if you don't quit. So stop seeing challenges as setbacks. See them as training sessions. Every obstacle is another chance to build endurance, focus, and resilience. That's why mentally strong people welcome discomfort. They know that comfort kills growth, but pressure builds power. Your environment plays a massive role in this training too. You can't expect to grow strong if you surround yourself with mental weakness. Negativity, gossip, complaints, and excuses are like junk food for the mind. They feel satisfying in the moment, but poison you in the long run. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better, who push you to grow, who remind you of your strength when you forget it. Protect your mental environment like you protect your health. Don't let just anyone speak into your mind. Guard your input because your input becomes your output. If you constantly consume negativity, don't be surprised when your thoughts become negative. Feed your mind with what nourishes it: knowledge, gratitude, purpose, and truth. Training your mind also means mastering your focus. We live in a world built to distract you. Endless notifications, opinions, temptations, and every distraction steals a piece of your mental energy. If you want to grow strong, you must learn to focus deeply on what truly matters. Mental weakness thrives in distraction. Mental strength thrives in clarity. Decide what's important and commit your attention to it. When you train your focus and you train your mind to stay grounded even when the world feels chaotic, you stop reacting to every distraction and start responding with intention. Focus is power. Every time you strengthen it, you reclaim another piece of your potential. Another key part of mental training is emotional regulation. When you train your body, you don't quit because it burns, you push through because you know that's how growth happens. The same goes for your emotions. When frustration, fear, or sadness hit, don't run from them, process them, breathe through them, and keep moving forward. Emotional pain is the resistance that builds psychological muscle. Most people avoid discomfort, so they never grow. But if you can sit with it, learn from it, and rise above it, you become unstoppable. You stop being a slave to your moods and start being the master of your state. One of the most powerful tools in training your mind is visualization. The mind doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's real. That's why athletes visualize success before they compete, because they're programming their nervous systems for victory. You can do the same. See yourself handling challenges calmly, staying focused under stress, pushing through pain with determination. The more vividly you imagine success, the more familiar it feels when it happens. Your brain starts to believe it's possible because you've already lived it in your mind. Repetition of visualization becomes belief, and belief becomes reality. Gratitude is another form of mental training, and gratitude is strength because it trains your mind to find light in darkness. It's easy to complain, easy to focus on what's missing, but gratitude rewires your brain to notice abundance. And when your focus shifts to abundance, you attract more of it. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means refusing to let pain define your perception. It's a daily exercise in perspective, a reminder that no matter how hard things get, you still have something to fight for, something to learn from, something to be thankful for. That's the mindset of someone who grows through anything. And then there's self-talk. The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Every day, your inner voice is either strengthening you or destroying you. You can't talk negatively to yourself and expect a positive life. You must become your own coach, not your own critic. When your mind starts spiraling, interrupt it. Replace "I can't" with "I will find a way." Replace "I'm not enough" with "I'm still growing." It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about programming your language to align with your vision. Words have power, and when you use them consciously, you start to rewire your mind for victory. The truth is, the mind doesn't become strong by accident. It becomes strong because you train it daily, relentlessly, intentionally. It's built through the decisions you make when no one is watching, the moments you push through when you want to quit, the times you choose progress over perfection. And your mental gym is open 24 hours a day, and every thought, every emotion, every reaction is a workout. The question is, are you training your mind to be weak or training it to be unstoppable? Thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe.